Hi, I'm Ilona. I'm a director at Elevate. We went through carbon literacy training and became accredited back in February 2021. We looked at various different types of sustainability training, and the reason that carbon literacy stood out for us was because it was so action-based. We didn't just want to talk about sustainability, we wanted to know how we could really make a difference. And the difference has been absolutely phenomenal. Internally, we've made pledges such as plant-based to standard as all of our events, but more than anything, it's about spreading carbon literacy and getting as many other organisations accredited as possible. I'm delighted that to date we've taken over 40 organisations through our own course, and have also supported 2 other organisations to become carbon literate organisations.
Despite the huge pressure COVID put on council services, around 100 employees have had training in our Carbon Literacy Accredited. They include our Enterprise and Environment Directorate leadership team, over half of our planning service, staff from procurement, transportation, communications and finance teams, as well as some councillors. I'm delighted that we've been awarded the Bronze Carbon Literacy Organisation status to mark the start of our journey. The training brings the harsh reality the world is facing to life. But if 80% of those learners follow through on their pledges, they'll save 183 tonnes of carbon emissions a year. And more than that, these staff now have the tools, knowledge and inspiration they need to build a positive shift into our strategic plans for Fife, our own operations and the messages we share with our 380,000 residents.
I'm Nick Drew, Chair of the Trustees of Wirral Environmental Network. We're an environmental education charity based in Wallasey. Last year, we were delighted to become the first carbon literate organisation based in the Liverpool City region. For me, it shows that we're dedicated to making our strapline a reality, working to reduce Wirral's carbon footprint.
Hello, I'm Councillor Ian Nellens, the Shropshire Councillor with the portfolio for climate change, natural assets and the green economy. Shropshire Council's carbon footprint is only 1% of the county's carbon footprint, but the council has the ability to influence up to 33% of the county's carbon footprint through the service providers and contractors that we use on a daily basis. In January 2022, the entire Cabinet and senior leadership team from Shropshire Council completed carbon literacy training delivered by Speak Carbon. We knew it was important to start at the top, so all of the Cabinet and the senior leadership team had the understanding, the knowledge and the confidence in order to encourage good carbon understanding throughout everything that the council does. We're going to expand our carbon literacy training to all staff. We're also going to expand our renewable energy, and we're also going to extend our electric vehicle charging points from the 50 that we already have put in to a further 300. In addition, we're working closely with businesses and residents to help them take urgent action on their journey towards carbon neutrality. Also, we're working closely with stakeholders so that we can develop a hydrogen economy for the county. We're also improving our energy efficiency of our own buildings. A great example of this was a school in Shrewsbury which recently won an award for the first passive house masonry school building in the country. So carbon literacy training has been a great start in this journey. It's now a great springboard for us to work on and develop our plans in order to ensure that Shropshire Council becomes carbon neutral by 2030.
Carbon literacy training has been great for us at Protect Our Winters. It's really important that as a climate action charity, that as well as training, our ability to train ski instructors through to members of the community and members of other companies, that our own staff, trustees and volunteers understand the impacts of climate change and what we can do about it effectively. So that's why we're really pleased to accept this Carbon Literate Organisation Award.
Carbon literacy has had a really big impact on both the organisation here at North Somerset Council and the individuals who've undertaken the training. Our vision for North Somerset Council is to be open, fair and greener. And I think that demonstrates our commitment to climate change right from the very top. But sometimes it's hard to translate a vision into action. And I think that's where carbon literacy training can really help. As a result of my own training, I've thought about my own leadership with regards to climate change and how I can make it more relevant in everything we do at the council, whether that's supporting the action plan development that sits below our strategy, whether it's considering climate change in our policies as we develop policy moving forwards, or indeed celebrating some of the actions that staff have taken, either individually or within teams, to address climate change by introducing a new award category within our annual staff awards.
The team have shown great ambition when they have pledged their actions to evidence their carbon literacy to the Carbon Literacy Project and get their certification.
So we're going to put those pledges together and build on top of them, put together a larger plan for us as a business to take forward.
I think my team will take away a measurable goal and a focus. Every member of the team need to be aware of what they need to do from our financial targets and carbon targets.
I hope the team will take away a consciousness, a kind of a sense of what is a good carbon choice. Everyone in the team will have a role to play, and it's really important that they feel that they can have a role, they know what that role is, and that they can do it.
So to work with an organisation like RRPF, who do have that real agency and really lead by example, it's a real privilege to be part of that.
The carbon literacy training has been really important. It's part of the Council's journey to meet our commitment to become carbon neutral by 2030. We set off on this journey with a motion by the Council 3 years ago, and as part of that we thought it would be really helpful if we got all of our staff carbon literacy trained. We started off with getting our senior management team through that training, and as part of that, having all those senior staff really sort of leading from the top and showing how important the carbon literacy agenda is.
Over the last year at Amgueddfa Cymru National Museum Wales, we've been developing a carbon literacy training course, and we've been rolling it out to all staff across our 8 sites. Over 100 staff have already received their carbon literacy certificates, and we're aiming to roll out the rest of the training to the remaining staff over the next year. We've just received Bronze level Carbon Literate Organisation status, and we're hoping to go for Silver level shortly. The response from staff has been absolutely amazing, and we've been really uplifted by the pledges people have made. The pledges have been really varied, dealing from instance tackling digital carbon footprints, travel policies in order to make our travel more sustainable, energy, resource use, developing workshops, exhibitions and social media campaigns in order to talk about climate change and empower others into action. We've really enjoyed our journey for carbon literacy, and it's just part of what Amgueddfa Cymru is doing towards carbon neutrality.
Hi, my name's Liz Howarth. I'm Chief Executive at Halton Housing. Since February this year, we've been rolling out our carbon literacy training to all of our colleagues. A third of our colleagues have already attended the training, as well as a number of our board members. Every colleague makes a pledge as a requirement of the certificate, and these are already starting to make a real difference and have an impact at Halton Housing. We're very proud to have achieved the Bronze standard, and we're working towards the Silver Award.
Hi, I'm Sean Turner, the Cabinet Member at Lancashire County Council for Environment and Climate Change. I undertook the carbon literacy training last November now. It made climate change, net zero, carbon footprints, it made it all tangible. So it really starts to make you think about, look, we need to reduce emissions and look at other ways of doing things. A couple of lead services in the council. Highways is one to mention. They're looking at all sorts of carbon saving ways. We've recently laid rubber roads, for example, which have come from recycled tyres. We're using the stone from the runway from British Aerospace at Samlesbury. As we develop that site, we are, rather than disposing of that runway, we are reusing it and resurfacing new roads with that. We achieved Bronze recently, which we're really happy with, but that's not the end. We're very ambitious. Our aim is to increase the number of carbon literate staff and elected members. It's going to be rolled out very soon to fellow cabinet members. Yeah, the mood is good. There's a real push in the organisation towards doing things in a much greener way than we previously had. In fact, through cabinet, we've now asset management, as it's embedded that not only is the structure and fabric of the building looked at it, but also its energy use, and that's now part of asset conditioning plan, so how we'll assess buildings going forward in the future.
Aberdeen University Student Association is really proud to be a carbon literate student association. It's become the unofficial gold standard for organisational sustainability knowledge. We have had over 100 students and staff complete the carbon literacy training, and it has received overwhelming positive feedback, and as a result we're now developing our own carbon literacy course. The training has enabled our staff to better support our elected officers for whom sustainability is becoming ever more important. It's helped us to implement real life sustainability practices effectively, and it's enabled us to receive further accreditation from the NUS Green Impact Programme.
I'm the Cabinet Member for Climate Change at Cardiff Council, and we're a large organisation, one of the biggest employers in Wales. We're responsible for about 180,000 tonnes of CO2 every year. We've got a really clear target to get to net zero by 2030, and that's now less than 8 years away, and we really need to speed up our scale of change. This training has really helped with that. I've got green credentials, and yet even I, when I did the training, found it quite startling. If I didn't know some of those facts, then how we're going to communicate that, and how we're going to expect the wider public to really understand these things. So that has really helped within our organisation, but also outside of our organisation. We know certainly Cardiff Council can make a big impact, and actually what we know now is that councils can potentially impact upon about 1/3 of the UK's carbon emissions. So, for example, in Cardiff, a city of 400,000 people, it's a big impact there in terms of the whole wider sector, and that's certainly a leadership role for us. And again, that's where this training is really going to help. It's really helped our organisation in terms of helping people understand the changes we really need to make, and importantly, what will make the biggest impact, so we're not wasting too much time and resources on things that don't matter as much, and really getting the big stuff done quickly.
Dr. Martin Valenti, I'm Director for Net Zero at South of Scotland. We have a very complex but challenging but exciting role. Our role is to mobilise and build momentum for the just transition to net zero, and it is very exciting. Part of being able to realise the opportunities is understanding the complexity of the challenge, which is why I would encourage people to get involved in the carbon literacy training. It's almost like a watershed moment for our staff in the organisation, because everyone and every individual has an important role to play, and we're very excited that we managed to achieve a Bronze Award, which was fantastic, really exciting and really enjoyable to get. But that is just the start of the journey for us. We want to go all the way, because we realise that the more we support all of our colleagues that work for us, and businesses that we support, and those partners that we work with to deliver support for those businesses, the greater our literacy is on carbon and climate opportunity, the greater opportunity we'll have of doing something quite special and quite important.
My name is Paul Matthews. I am the Chief Executive of Monmouthshire County Council. We are delighted to actually have achieved Bronze accreditation. The work that you're doing on carbon literacy is fundamental. For me, for my organisation, it sits right at the heart of everything that we're trying to become. Not only within Monmouthshire County Council, but through our role as community leaders more widely in our beautiful county as well. Bronze is fantastic, but it's not where we're stopping. There's a silver out there and there's a gold out there, so that's in our sights as well. I guess the training, the competence that we're building into our workforce, my colleagues, the future leaders of public service in Wales, through the application of the techniques that we're learning with you, is so important to us.
Hello, I'm Karen Chalmers, the Dean of the School of Business Law and Entrepreneurship at Swinburne University in Melbourne, Australia, and I'm delighted to be joining the 2022 Carbon Literate Organisation Awards, with the school recognised as Bronze-accredited in 2022. In partnership with other Australian universities, namely the University of Queensland and Federation University, the Business School at Swinburne has been running carbon literacy training twice a year. As a result, there's nearly 40 staff, both professional and academic staff, that have been certified to date. The program is driving high-impact pledges, new courses, new learning activities, actions around the campus, and lifestyle choices, with the delivery and participation all being on a voluntary basis. Our future ambitions and plans include introducing more university partners, developing a training video to be part of professional development, and taking the carbon literacy training beyond our university and into external organisational partners. Thank you to everyone for the great work that's being done around carbon literacy.